the president.
And
Also.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you look at this guy's hat, "Make America Great Again," what do you think about that?
Sweetheart, nobody has made more fun of Donald Trump than I have.
I know.
So
I'm just
you
asking
can't
you.
get me on like, I like Donald Trump. I
I'm
don't
not
like
saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying
And
that.
I get your point. I've said it myself. Yes, make America great again. I understand to a certain number of people that's a dog whistle about America was better when it was whiter. I get that. Okay.
In this clip from the Club Random podcast, we're diving into a heated exchange between Bill Maher and Bryan Cranston over the insane topic of white privilege. This conversation, to be honest, is a roller coaster, and as always, Maher is pulling no punches while Cranston is trying to navigate the woke minefield. Again, it's going to be a roller coaster of a clip, and you're going to see what I mean here in a second. So let's just get into this clip where, of course, I'll be adding in my unfiltered take as always.
But I will. Would you then also accept that there's a large swath of people in his camp and other people like him who have no clue that that's a dog whistle? That they think, oh yeah, make America great again is for everyone. But when was it great? Let me ask you this. I know, oh God.
I mean,
making a big sigh. Come on.
No.
When was it great for African Americans in this country? When was it great?
Well, if you're applying for college now, I would say now.
So in our history, now it's great.
I didn't say great. It's never great for anybody fully.
Well, never great for anybody?
Well, life is full of problems. So great, yes, if your life is great, you're very lucky. Most people would not say my life is great. Would you say your life is great?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I would.
yeah. I mean,
and a lot of it has.
I'm glad for you.
And I've been privileged.
Yes.
Do you believe in white privilege?
I like the word advantage better. Because advantage is broader. Here's the reason why. When you say advantage, now, have I had advantages, especially growing up in, being again, we were born the same year, 1956. If you're born in that year, yes, you were a young person in the 80s, probably in the 80s, could like I have been up for a job at a comedy club when I was working little comedy clubs, and there was a black comedian, and they gave it to me instead because they thought I would do better being a white comedian, or that they were just maybe had racism in them. Yes, I think that probably could have happened, and that was wrong. Again, I didn't do it. I mean, we can't all be.
I'm not saying you're doing it. It's
No,
just
no, no.
recognizing that it exists.
I don't think I should be even questioned that I'm someone who doesn't recognize that it exists.
Right.
I have a pretty good record of speaking on the right side of civil rights issues. I just like to be real about where we are. And where we are is not where we were. And some people seem literally reluctant. It seems like they feel like the worse I think things are, the better person I am. That's what I get from a lot of the left, I think things are worse than you do, so that's what makes me good. And I just want the reality. I just want the truth. What is the truth of the situation?
Awesome. So at this point of the clip, this is where Maher really starts to dig into the performative wokeness of the left, and honestly, it's one of the strongest points in this whole exchange. He's basically calling out this weird trend where some people on the left seem to think the more pessimistic they are, the more morally superior they become. It's like they're in a competition to see who can paint the bleakest picture of society. Oh, you think racism is bad? Well, I think it's apocalyptically bad, so I'm clearly a better person than you. And honestly, I think it's getting pretty exhausting. Maher's not saying we should ignore the problems, because a lot of these problems certainly do exist, but he's saying we need to be honest about where we are. Yes, racism exists. Yes, inequality is real, but we've also made massive progress. Let's not pretend we're still living in the 1950s. Thankfully, black kids can go to college now without being spat on. Women can now vote. Are things perfect? Hell no, but are they better than they were 50 years ago? Absolutely. The problem with this doom and gloom approach is that it doesn't inspire change. It just makes people feel hopeless. If everything is terrible and always will be, why even bother trying to fix it? I think Maher is pushing for a more balanced perspective, and I think that's pretty crucial. Acknowledging the problems, but also recognizing recognizing the progress we've made, as well as celebrating the wins while working on the losses, is very important, because otherwise you're just shouting into the void. Of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Is Maher right to call this out on the left's negativity, or is he downplaying the real issues we still face? Let me know in the comments, but let's go into these massive other points as well, because again, this is a roller coaster.
And again, I'm not decrying that these changes are made. I'm applauding it. I'm applauding it that it's great that if you're a black kid applying to college, yeah, you don't have to face discrimination like they used to. And very often those colleges and businesses also in America are trying to make up for their sorry past.
I think we're not really far apart. I think it's I mean, yes, are there factions that are on both extremes? Of course. But to say you're a liberal person, as I would consider myself, I think common sense is the law of the land. It's what should be. I think we are in a much better place than we've ever been before, as far as civil rights, as far as acceptance and
it's just, you know, the people who are running the world now are millennials and Gen Zs. They're not, I think you're thinking of your generation, and they are still in place in some places. They're certainly not all racists who are in place, but yeah, there are, you know, like I said, I don't know if we'll ever get rid of it completely, like any human flaw, but the people who are running things, you know, I just don't think that's their mindset is, let's be racist to people of color.
They don't understand it, but they are innately that way.
Innately?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
No.
What have you been reading?
Oh, babe. You know, come on.
Is that white fragility or some bullshit like that?
No, it's not white fragility.
Well, that's the book. Is that where you're getting that
from? No.
But innately, like original sin, like we're toxically white, born racist?
Not toxically, but you recognize your experience, and what we don't recognize often is the privilege that you said, the advantage that you have. You look at Congress. Look at the makeup of Congress. You cannot deny that as older white men are the predominant factor in Congress.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but there's plenty of people in color in Congress, and yes, we are moving from a place where it was all white. We get it.
Yes.
But what direction is it going? And I'd like to see the numbers in Congress. Certainly in the Democratic Party, I bet you they're at least representative percentage-wise.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Less so in the Republican Party, but I have to tell you, Republicans are doing better and better all the time with people of color.
I hope so.
Because the woke shit actually doesn't help any black people. See, to me, this is the difference between liberalism and wokeism. Liberalism is about lifting people up. Woke is just about self-loathing and hating yourself and scolding everybody and virtue signaling. It doesn't actually help anybody. Lifting people up who have gotten a bad shake in this country, who are for some reason downtrodden or have been cheated, absolutely. I've always been for that. But I don't think that's a lot of what's going on. And I think there are, I just look at the numbers from the last election. I mean, Trump, what would you think that he would get even one black or Hispanic vote? He got 20% of the male black vote. And he did better with Hispanics than he did the first time.
Yeah.
Comes out, you're rapists, then gets respectable numbers in that election.
And from women,
and
too.
then 4 years go by, and he does better.
Yeah.
The people, especially immigrants, they don't like this unrelenting negativism about this country. They're like, you know what?
I totally agree with that.
You should see the fucking river I swam through to get here. And I get here, and all you people do is shit on your own country and tell me how horrible it is. You know what? I came from horrible. You want to know horrible? I'll tell you fucking stories.
Alright, this is another awesome point by Maher where he's basically talking about immigrants who risked everything, their lives, their families, their safety to come to America, only to hear people constantly trashing the country. And to be honest, he's hitting on something pretty important here. I think there is a massive disconnect between how some Americans view this country and how people who've actually experienced real oppression see it. I mean, if you've never lived under a dictatorship, never had to flee a war zone, never had to worry about being disappeared by your own government, it's easy to take America's flaws and blow them out of proportion. But for someone who's escaped those kinds of horrors, America's problems probably look a lot smaller. It's like complaining about a scratch on your car when the guy next to you just survived a head-on collision. I think the point is that America isn't perfect and is probably far from it, but it's still one of the best places on earth to live, and when you constantly trash it, you're not just being ungrateful, you're ignoring the sacrifices that millions of people have made to get here. It's like that old saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Well, immigrants know exactly what they've got because they've seen what it's like to not have it. And obviously this isn't just about immigrants, it's just simply about perspective. When you spend all your time focusing on what's wrong, you lose sight of what's right. Yes, America has systematic racism, income inequality, and a political system that's more dysfunctional than a reality TV show. But it's also a place where you can speak your mind without fear of being thrown into jail, where you can pursue your dreams no matter where you started, and where you can fight for change without getting shot in the streets, at least in some spots. So again, it's definitely not perfect, but I think it's still definitely a lot better than number one, what it was, and especially compared to a lot of other countries. Of course, that's just what I think. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with these points. Also, let me know who you think won this argument. Was it Bill or was it Brian? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.